Previously on Eli Stone.
You all know Marcy Klein, is in Weathersby, Posner, and...
The fear is that Mr. Stone is symptomatic of a larger problem, a string of client defections.
Do you know the restaurant Le Petit Table?
6-month waiting list at Le Petit Table.
You can get us a reservation there. I'll have dinner with you.
You never really mentioned Scott before you got engaged.
Well, you knew I had a boyfriend.
You have to admit the whole engagement thing kind of came out of nowhere.
Taylor, do you feel that?
I saw an earthquake, and it destroys Silver Terrace.
Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone, please sit down.
Cool fish.
Your pre-op exam looks promising.
Well, I studied very hard. Oh, it's a joke.
Vitals look good. Blood pressure is normal. Heart is healthy. Looks like we're all set.
To take out the aneurysm.
I thought we were removing your gallbladder. A little joke. You seem nervous.
Why would I be nervous? It's not like we're talking about going into my skull with sharp instruments, with a high likelihood that I'll lose the ability to speak. That's if I don't lose the ability to, live.
Given the risk, in these circumstances, I recommend that patients should get their affairs in order.
You're saying I should draft a will?
A living will. A document that clarifies your wishes should you be unable to express them yourself. I'm sure you know a few good lawyers.
Yo. Taxi! Jerk. Taxi! Hi, 101 Federal Street, downtown.
I'm almost there, Macaroni. I'm on the Golden Gate Bridge right now. Yes, that's the big orangey one.
Golden Gate, I said downtown. Hello? Hello? Oh, great. A vision.
See you soon, Macaroni.
20 minutes. It's Thursday, the 24th. Time is now 5:13.
It's not. It's Monday the 21st, and it's 10 in the morning. Oh, God, not again.
Hey, buddy. I said, where are you going?
Chinatown. I'm going to Chinatown.
The Golden Gate Bridge is at the limit in both directions.
Stay off the Golden Gate.
As if one fake earthquake hallucination wasn't enough, now I'm getting one directed by Michael Bay. It's like the aneurysm knows, Frank. It knows I'm trying to take it out, and it's trying to scare me with big budget sequels.
Personifying your aneurysm. That's kind of weird, dude.
It's like Jonah. God kept talking to him when he didn't believe. Yeah, I've been reading up. Big storm swallowed by a fish. You want to get all Trivial Pursuit? Bring it.
Jonah still was a prophet, albeit a stubborn one. Kind of making my point for me.
I saw when it happens.
When the earthquake hits?
3 days' time, 5:13 p.m.
Eli, you have to tell people.
Oh, I don't think so. You remember Silver Terrace? How I bribed a judge, had some families kicked out of their homes?
And what if this earthquake vision is a validation of the first? Like Jonah hearing the voice of God twice.
I can't do anything. My superpowers don't extend to stopping earthquakes. And if I barely believe me, who else is going to?
Have Simon babysit Edwards till you get back, Nigel. I need you on a plane to San Francisco tonight. I'm not asking.
I see you made yourself right at home.
I am at home, remember? We built this place together.
Which makes it all the more disturbing to me to see you've been lobbying for my ouster. My name's still the first one on the door, Marcy. Did you really think I wouldn't find out?
Truth be told, I wasn't very concerned either way. I am more concerned about our top corporate clients running for the door.
There will be new clients, and even some of the former ones will return to the fold.
Not Butel, not Zyre Motors. They have their new attorneys drafting malpractice complaints instead.
You've spoken to their CEOs without my prior approval?
There's a common thread running through the biggest blunders this firm has made.
Eli Stone isn't a blunder.
I'd fire him, but he's protected by an agreement you signed off on.
I've done the math, Marcy. You don't have the votes to replace me.
Be sure of that.
It's done. Cancel whatever plans you have for Wednesday night, because we are going to dinner.
I highly doubt that.
It might have been chimp-induced psychosis, but I have a pretty accurate memory of you offering to have dinner with me.
When and if you got us reservations at a restaurant with a 6-month waiting list? 6 months. That was a week ago?
Suffice it to say, Le Petit Tub is now a client of this firm at a sharply discounted billing rate.
Oh. Nice job, Mr. Dowd.
I take it from the look of surprise on your face, you're unaccustomed to dealing with men as capable as the Dowd. Funny, we were just talking about you.
Hey, do you have a second?
I've got at least 60 of them.
Actually, I was asking the Dowd.
What's on your structurally defective mind, friend?
I need to schedule some time with you.
Aw, gee, buddy, that sounds swell, but my social calendar's pretty full these days.
It's not a personal matter, it's a legal one. Actually, it's a personal legal matter.
Let me guess, you're suing me for dating your ex.
No, but what a nice thought. So, if you could just let Patty know when you got some time free tomorrow. Thanks.
Did you fall down and hit your aneurysm?
You should just take a few days off. Get out of town. Get far out of town. Go to a spa. Just avoid the Golden Gate Bridge.
I just got back from a week off.
We'll take another week. We're not particularly busy around here, especially with my surgery coming up. Patty, you shouldn't have.
I didn't. It is an engagement gift from Maggie.
What'd I get her?
An apology for being such an ass last week. I used your credit card. Here's the receipt.
I'm either very sorry or I am very happy for Maggie.
You're both.
It's for you, for your engagement.
This is very nice of you. You didn't have to do this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, I figured while Scott was in Ohio, he should also be on your desk in a frame.
Well, actually, he'll be both. He's moving out here on Thursday.
That's great. Wow. I can't wait to meet him. Hello?
And I have determined Dude, I solved your problem.
Sorry, you're gonna have to tell me which one.
Just turn on TV, Channel 8.
This is no fantasy. No careless product of wild imagination. No, my friends. This is a matter of undeniable scientific fact.
Are you watching? Do you see this?
I see a nutcase with a handmade sign and impeccable penmanship.
You said you wanted to tell everyone about the earthquake so they'd believe you. Listen to this guy. He's a scientist.
Geological prognostication. I've calculated that the quake will hit in 3 days' time. Thursday.
Did you hear that? You said in your vision the earthquake hit Thursday.
You know you didn't have to chaperone.
I'm not chaperoning. I'm making sure you don't blow this off.
And by this, you mean your plan to get people to believe me by relying on someone nobody believes.
Eli, he predicted the earthquake from your vision.
Also predicted 5 other earthquakes that never happened.
Obviously, he's gotten the kinks of his prediction system worked out.
That's not obvious. That's the exact opposite of obvious. Excuse me, Dr. Foote. Dr. Foote! Hi, I'm Eli Stone. I'm an attorney.
This earthquake proofing is exactly to code. And it's patented. So don't even try to rip me off.
Dr. Foote, we're here because we believe you.
Oh, nobody believed me. Nice try. None of the hecklers have tried. Hey, we believe you before. You get points for originality.
Well, thank you. But we're not here to heckle you, we're not here to sue you, and we're not here to rip you off. I'm here because, well, I'm very interested in your method of earthquake prediction.
Seismic prognostication. Yeah.
So how does it work? You have a seismometer or something?
You're looking at it. Follow me. Wipe your feet, please, gentlemen. Well, the entire house is basically an extremely large seismic station. Each brace not only protects the house from seismic undulation, but also collects data from the motion amplifying mechanical linkages.
I'm not a scientist. You're basically saying that this whole house is a giant earthquake detecting device.
And a tax write-off, yes.
You've never accurately predicted an earthquake using it.
I hate that word. Predict. It implies psychic powers, clumps me in with palm readers and fortune tellers.
What does your family think about you turning the whole house into a giant earthquake thing?
They don't. My wife moved everybody down to Cupertino. Better for him anyway. As far away from this city, the better.
And the quake you say is coming. Where do you think the epicenter will be?
Not think. No. Here. Come here. See these lines? These are the 7 major faults lying underneath the Bay Area. Now, my algorithm says the epicenter will be inland, most likely here, Silver Terrace.
Silver Terrace, you don't say.
The magnitude of the quake, 6.5 at least, would mean shock waves that could destroy things like,
the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Dr. Foote, how far are you prepared to take this?
You mean to get people to listen to me? To grasp the danger? Well, Mr. Stone, I have lost my family, my job, my reputation, a large percentage of my dignity. So pretty far.
You can't be serious.
No, I can be, I promise.
How's this not a joke? You're asking the court to close the Golden Gate Bridge.
No, I'm asking the court to order the city to close the Golden Gate.
Under this writ of mandamus you mentioned.
Mandamus, Your Honor.
Yeah, a law so old it's practically written on a stone tablet. And it only applies if the city isn't meeting one of its legal obligations.
Like protecting the health and welfare of its citizenry.
Now, the citizenry are doing just fine, thanks.
They won't be 3 days from now.
This is the part where he trots out the quack scientist with the crackpot earthquake prediction.
Dr. Foote has degrees from Stanford, MIT, and Caltech.
And an 0 for 5 record in forecasting earthquakes. The mandamus law presupposes that the plaintiff possesses better judgment than the city. I don't think Dr. Foote qualifies.
But I do. Your Honor, you'll notice from the paperwork that I'm the named plaintiff here. Dr. Foote is merely providing the evidence I'm relying upon.
Bringing me right back to quack and crackpot. Yeah, maybe this isn't the ideal situation for closing the bridge for the first time.
Actually, the Golden Gate's been closed 3 times due to forecasts of high winds. Except this time, instead of winds, we're talking earthquake.
Assuming you believe Dr. Foote.
No, Your Honor. Assuming that you do. Hundreds of lives are at stake here. What's a few hours to listen to what the man has to say?
Your Honor.
If I dismiss this case, I have to start a 3-month trial on accounting practices. I'll do anything to put that off for a day or two. Have your witness in court 10 tomorrow. Next.
Ian Young from New York is downstairs talking to Matt Dowd. Charlotte Phillips from Chicago is downstairs checking her email on my computer this very minute.
Are you live blogging the office now?
No, but I'm a woman, I'm a lawyer, and I'm Jordan Weathersby's daughter, and I know when some bitch is trying to orchestrate a palace revolt.
I assume the Wicked Witch to whom you're referring is one of this firm's founding partners. Marcy is hardly the first lawyer to try to throw me off my perch. Don't worry, sweetheart. Your father's made of Kevlar.
Your favorite son is at it again. Do you have any idea what he just did?
I can't say that I do.
And I can't say that I'm surprised. As managing partner, you managed to turn a blind eye where Eli Stone is concerned. He just sued San Francisco. The entire city. He's asking a judge to close down the Golden Gate Bridge.
If he is, I'm sure he has a good reason. I'll talk to him.
I've got this one. I just wanted to see if you were in the loop, since you don't seem to be.
I wish someone would throw a bucket of water on her. Are you going to talk to Eli? Tell him to stop giving Marcy ammunition to use against you?
It hadn't occurred to me to do so, no.
It occurs to me.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh,
Better than a surprise, actually. It's another gift.
Oh, really? The frame was generous enough.
We're going to be saving people from an actual earthquake. Hundreds, maybe thousands of lives. We're going to be like superheroes, but with suits and briefcases instead of capes and secret identities.
This is your earthquake case?
It's our earthquake case. You're my second chair.
Oh, I can't do it, Eli.
What? Scott doesn't get in for another week, and the case will be over by then. Believe me, has to be.
That's not the problem. I'm kind of, working for Miss Klein on something.
Medusa Klein? What kind of
filed the appearance?
Yes. You are now the attorney of record for the city.
We are, Ms. Decker.
You and Miss Klein are...
Opposing counsel in your earthquake case. Yes. Pro bono, as you might be familiar. We'll see you in court.
Oh, I see you filled the frame. Is that Scott?
Yeah, that's Scott and me in New York last year. See you in court, Eli.
I'll see you soon, Macaroni.
Thursday, the 24th.
Stone, what was it you wanted yesterday?
Now's really not a good time, Matt.
Beggars can't be choosers, Stone. It's one of those immutable facts of life.
Could you give me a minute? Okay. I'm late for Marcy and Maggie to try and shred me in court, so I'm going to keep this brief. I'm going in to have the aneurysm taken out. Chances are I won't survive the surgery, so I need someone to draft a living will so that my wishes and my dignity are protected.
And my heartstrings would be so tugged on, I'll be limp for your ex. Nice try, Stone.
Wait. This isn't about you and Taylor. This is about me not living like a vegetable for 1 second longer than I have to. I need this to be ironclad. I need it drafted without sympathy or sentiment.
I am fairly unsympathetic.
This is what I'm counting on. We're gonna put your utter lack of humanity to good use. You had your whole career in front of you.
Tenured Berkeley professor at 32. Vice president of the American Seismological Society at 35.
By all objective measures, I was poised to become the leader in my field.
But you didn't.
No, like Ahab, I developed a single-minded vendetta against a white whale. In my case, it was forecasting and preventing a devastating seismic catastrophe.
Predicting the big one, you mean? The next great San Francisco earthquake.
That's right.
But you haven't exactly been successful so far, have you?
No, but it took Edison almost a year before the first successful test of the light bulb. The first powered glider, built by the Wright brothers, flew for only 3 seconds. Failure is merely a road to success. I've refined my methodology. I can tell you with 98% certainty, this quake is coming.
When?
2 days, during rush hour.
Your Honor, at this time, I would move that Mr. Foote's testimony be removed from the record and the plaintiff's case dismissed.
Your Honor, Ms. Klein's been in Europe for the past 3 years, but generally the defendants will cross-examine at this point.
Mr. Stone is right. I have been out of the country recently, but I presume Daubert is still on the books. Scientific testimony is inadmissible unless generally accepted by the scientific community. What members of the scientific community back your claim, sir?
Well, some of my colleagues have been really intrigued by my work.
But the exact number who actually believe you would be 0.
Your Honor?
She's within the bounds, Counselor.
So, no scientists. That's all right. What about lay people? Perhaps a sympathetic journalist?
Not that I'm aware of.
You're the only one who believes this quake is coming.
Mr. Stone appears to believe me.
And your wife, I'm sure.
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Are you estranged from your wife, sir?
She left me.
When?
September 4, 2005.
You seem to be fairly accurate with that date. Does it have some significance?
It was the date of the last earthquake I forecast.
I don't seem to remember an earthquake on that exact date. Funny thing.
I'm not laughing, Eli.
Are you sure? Because I think a catastrophic earthquake is hilarious.
Help me out here. Is this catastrophic like the last one you predicted?
I'm not predicting this one. There's a scientist, Daniel Foote.
Look, I have always supported everything you've done. Except, I guess, when it comes to catastrophic earthquakes where you seem to have a pronounced blind spot.
And what's my blind spot this time?
Marcy Klein. She is using this little crusade of yours as evidence my father doesn't have a grip on his own firm. That's right. You push this, and my father, the man who's been like a father to you, takes the hit.
I can drop the case. The earthquake case. I can recuse myself immediately, get my client new counsel.
I doubt that you'll find another attorney in the city as eccentric as yourself, Eli. It's not like you to bail on a client. Is something the matter?
No, not with me, but with you. I've heard rumblings.
And did you hear them from a tall female associate who has my eyes?
Taylor may have mentioned that there could be political consequences for you if I continue with this case.
And you've decided to come to my rescue?
You were there for me. You stood up for me, protected me, represented me. Now I'm here for you.
An attitude that, however noble, presumes this recusing yourself is your decision to make.
It's not?
Every case you have tried or ever will try at this firm has been and will be done so at my pleasure. If I hadn't wanted you to represent Daniel Foote, or for that matter, Beth Keller or Arvin Selinsky, make no mistake, you wouldn't have. And while I appreciate your newly located sense of loyalty, you started this case. It's not finished yet. My lawyers finish their cases. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Hey! I can't believe I'm gonna beat you.
You're not going to beat me. Marcy's going to. You're not going to be doing any of the talking.
The hearing's not over yet.
Tell me about it.
No, I'm serious. Marcy says she has big plans for me.
Maggie, why do you think Marcy chose you to second chair?
My work in the St. Vincent's malpractice trial?
Which was really my work, which Marcy, being a very clever person, would find out.
What are you saying?
Out of all the associates of the firm, she didn't exactly pick the most experienced one, so why do you think she picked you?
Because I'm spunky and a hard worker.
And you know more about me than almost anyone else at this firm. She picked you so she can pump you for information about me, about my tactics, my strategy, my history.
What about your overinflated ego?
I'm just saying, what if Foote's right? People could die. People. Or a person you know. Just when she comes to you, and she will, just don't be, you.
You know, I can see why you're representing Dr. Foote. You're both great at alienating people.
Your Honor, we'd like to call a rebuttal witness. Moira Foote.
Unless Mrs. Foote is a seismologist herself, I don't see the relevance.
Miss Klein made her relevant yesterday when she asked Dr. Foote about his marriage.
Bring her up.
I think the thing I loved most about Daniel was that he liked bacon and eggs for dinner. He never understood why certain foods were rigidly considered only for breakfast. He challenged life that way. He questioned everything.
I think yesterday we were left with the impression that you separated because Daniel was crazy.
Albert Einstein filled his closet with multiple pairs of the same shirt and pants, so he wouldn't have to waste a thought on what to wear. It was a quirk of genius. Today, that same behavior would be labeled OCD.
Do you believe Daniel's machine could predict earthquakes?
Honestly, I'm not sure. But that's not the point. I didn't leave Daniel because I thought he was wrong. I left because being right was more important to him than I was.
Given that Mrs. Foote offered no relevant testimony, I have no cross-examination.
It's kind of like to be or not to be.
Kind of.
Except for the I'll already be brain dead part.
There is that. It's any consolation, I already think of you as brain dead.
Well, I appreciate that. I do not want my life prolonged if I have an incurable and terminal condition, or if I become unconscious and am unlikely to regain consciousness. I wish to be permitted to die. This is cheerful. What do I sign? It's not even noon, and I've already made my end-of-life decision. What have you done so far today? I'm sorry. This whole thing's a little depressing.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, I'm pissed at him. After everything my father's done for Eli, he can't drop one stupid, incredibly stupid case.
Yeah, well, you know.
What did I just say?
Excuse me?
Do you have any idea what I've been talking about for the past 10 minutes?
Sure. Of course. Now, what looks good to you here? I was thinking the oxtail carpaccio.
Look, I recognize it's probably been a while since you managed to go on a date without a woman who did it professionally, but generally you're expected to pay attention to the woman you're with.
Sorry.
Look, obviously we're a little off here. So why don't you tell me what's on your mind?
Well, maybe you should go a little easier on Eli. See, I was paying attention.
Go easy on Eli? Since when do you care? My father has done everything for him. He could do this one thing for my dad.
I think Eli's just been a little focused on other stuff lately.
What kind of stuff? Does this have anything to do with the legal thing he wanted your help on?
I'm taking care of something for him, yes, and everything I know is...
Privileged? Eli and I used to tell each other all the time.
Well, don't put me in that position. However, I can think of several positions you could put me in.
It's almost hard to believe you'd botch the one evening you had to prove you're not all pig.
City budget number crunching crunched. What should I do next?
Go home. I think you've worked hard enough for tonight.
But it's only 10 o'clock.
Whatever you may have heard, Miss Decker, I'm not a monster.
That's not what I meant.
Get some rest. I know how hard this case must be on you.
What?
Jordan and I. We had a thing once. Before he was married, before we started this firm. We used to take each other on in court and outside of court. I understand how difficult it is to sit across the aisle from someone you're close to.
Eli and I aren't close.
Really? I looked over his recent cases. You've worked on nearly all of them.
I needed courtroom experience.
Perhaps you could help me out with something.
Oh, I'm really not all that helpful.
Looking through his caseload, it seems that illegal aliens and kids get his most zealous representation, where our higher-end clients, Arvin Selinsky, Zyre Motors, get something less than his A game.
Actually, in the Selinsky case, Eli did everything he could to evacuate Silver Terrace.
Evacuate? You mean evict?
Right. Evict.
Isn't Silver Terrace the alleged epicenter of the alleged earthquake?
I should really go.
Sit down, Ms. Decker. You are going to tell me everything you know about Eli Stone, Silver Terrace, and imaginary earthquakes.
He told me things in confidence. I can't say anything.
You not only can, you're obligated to.
Well, counsel, can we proceed with final argument?
Actually, we have our own rebuttal witness to call, Your Honor. Margaret Ann Decker.
Objection, Your Honor. Miss Maggie Decker is an attorney of record here.
This is a hearing, not a trial. And in any case, Ms. Decker hasn't said a word in court thus far.
Objection overruled. Take the stand, Miss Decker.
What's that girl gonna say?
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and
Nothing good.
I will.
Ms. Decker, in your capacity as one of Mr. Stone's co-workers, have you noticed a change in his legal practice?
Objection. Neither myself nor my practice are on trial here.
I'll admit it is not like his disbarment proceeding 2 months ago, but Mr. Stone has put himself at issue by seeking the mandamus writ personally, Your Honor.
Checkmate, Counselor. Sit down.
Eli is trying to represent more individuals and less corporations. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm sure we would all agree, Ms. Decker. But could you tell the judge how Mr. Stone tried to help the citizens of the Silver Terrace neighborhood when they sued his client, Arvin Selinsky?
He was concerned for their welfare. He wanted them to get a good deal.
He wanted them to move out of their homes as quickly as possible, isn't that right?
That's what Mr. Selinsky wanted.
But not for the same reason.
Objection. She's leading the witness.
Permission to treat this witness as hostile, Your Honor.
Your own co-counsel?
I don't get along with my co-workers, Your Honor. Why did Eli Stone want the citizens of Silver Terrace to vacate their homes?
How can anyone know what's in another person's mind?
What did he tell you, Ms. Decker?
Objection. Hearsay.
Oh, I'm not going to be admitting this as truth, Your Honor. Believe me.
He said that there would be an earthquake.
But not because Dr. Foote told him, right? Tell the judge why Mr. Stone thought there would be an earthquake.
He said that he could see the future.
Pass the witness.
When I told you there would be an earthquake, what did you tell me?
That I believed you.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Gayton presiding.
Be seated. For a writ of mandamus to issue, the respondent must be in clear violation of its civic duty. Furthermore, the required action must, by its very nature, be imperative. A city government that fails to protect its citizens from an earthquake it knows is coming most certainly satisfies that criterion. But the supported opinion of a fringe scientist represented by an attorney of questionable sound mind just as clearly does not meet that criterion. Applicant's writ of mandamus to close the Golden Gate Bridge is denied. This court is adjourned.
Excellent second chair, Ms. Decker.
You're insane. If I'd wanted to be laughed out of court, I'd have just represented myself.
Daniel, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. Sorry I let you rope me into this. Sorry that I let you use me as a mouthpiece for your own personal nutbaggery.
No, I didn't. I believe you.
Only because you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. At least I have a machine, a methodology.
I can file an emergency appeal.
No. If you try, I will get a restraining order. Yes, stay away from me.
Another satisfied client.
It's all my fault.
You gotta tell Scott to stay off the Golden Gate.
Come on, Eli.
He calls you macaroni. If I wasn't right, how else would I know that?
Well, I must have told you. First it was macaroni and cheese, then it was macaroni, then it was just macaroni.
No, you didn't tell me. I'd remember being that bored. Just call him. Do it for me. Patty, I could use some good news right now.
Eli, where have you been? Paul Miller called. He'd like to meet with you and Dr. Foote.
Great. Who's Paul Miller?
The chief aide to the mayor.
Mayor of San Francisco?
No, the mayor of Munchkin Land. He is waiting for you at City Hall.
I don't want to do this. I'd like to be anyone other than the person leading this charge. Jordan, Martin Posner, and I founded this firm together. And it was found on the principle that we would set a new standard for legal representation, that our clients would be the best and the brightest, the largest and the most successful. But those clients are leaving. And they will not come back until they've received a clear signal from us that we have seen the error of our ways. Unfortunately, that signal needs to be louder than the firing of one renegade associate. It needs to be the ouster of the man who's allowing him to damage our firm and its reputation.
Eli Stone has not damaged the reputation of this firm. Mr. Stone was representing an individual with a legitimate, albeit ultimately unsuccessful, cause of action. If it weren't legitimate, the court wouldn't have entertained a 3-day hearing. Ms. Klein's problem with Mr. Stone isn't that he's eccentric, it's that he applies his considerable talents to underdogs and individuals instead of conglomerates and CEOs. He reminds us that in business, there is still room for humanity, that capitalism without mercy is tantamount to evil. He reminds us of the best parts of ourselves. Yes, I have protected Eli Stone because I believe this firm needs Eli Stone. I believe that every firm, every company, everyone needs an Eli Stone. And by your vote, you'll say whether or not you agree. If you don't, then this place has become something I don't want my name on anyway.
Would you mind repeating that? Because, full disclosure here, I've been known to hear things.
The mayor's closing the Golden Gate Bridge, despite the judge's ruling.
I probably shouldn't ask this, but, why?
Well, for one thing, when Dr. Foote's not shouting hysterical proclamations from the front steps of this building, he's actually quite persuasive.
Thank you.
But truth be told, he wasn't the one who persuaded the mayor.
You're talking about me? What if Daniel and I are wrong and there's no quake?
What if you and Daniel are right, and we did nothing?
Fair point. The one person in the entire city who believes this just happens to be the mayor. Talk about dumb luck.
This may be good, Dowd. I'm missing Oprah. Dr. Oz is on.
This is only slightly more important.
It might help us to know what this is.
Before I go in for my minor life or death surgery, I wanted to make sure that I don't get Terry Schiavoed.
He's asked me to draft an advanced healthcare directive.
I would have asked you, but I needed someone without conscience or sympathy. No offense. None taken.
Eli, I'm sure there's no need. I mean, I'm sure these surgeries usually work out fine.
Only 50% of the time. I've been reading up. Eli's a coin toss away from being a vegetable.
Thank you, Patty. In any case, I need to get it witnessed, which is why you guys are here.
You want us to witness your suicide note?
It's not a suicide note. It's a statement of my wishes.
About how you want to die?
About how and under what circumstances I don't want to live. Thank you.
Eli, you draft your will yet?
I left you all my George Michael CDs. I figured that was appropriate.
I guess since you're Eli's lawyer for this, privilege would
prevent me from bringing it up on a date.
Excellent. So, if you'll all go to the nearest exits, Golden Gate Park is the safest place for the imminent earthquake.
Eli.
Please, just do it for me. Consider it a last request if you have to. But Golden Gate Park, not Bridge, okay? Excuse me. Hello? Hello? Hi. Sorry to interrupt. But I have it on very good authority that in about an hour from now, there's going to be an earthquake. A big one. The big one. So I'm leaving. And I hope you'll do the same, because I'm guessing that 22 stories up in the air, surrounded by glass, is going to be one of the less desirable places to be. Now, I know that most of you, if not all of you, think that I'm crazy, the lawyer with a hole in his head and the inappropriately timed song in his heart. And I know that as lawyers, we're trained to rely on fact and empirical evidence. But I'm asking each and every one of you, this one time with the stakes so completely high, to believe me. And take something on faith. Trust me, you won't regret it.
I'm leaving, but don't worry, I'll be back again. You're always right here.
So who's with me?
You're grieving, but don't hurry. To your pack of friends, I'll stay, it's clear. The one you knew, from your love I grew into complete and whole.
I've tallied the partners' votes, and, well, Jordan, there is no easy way to say this.
I think you just did, Marcy.
But for the record, it is the decision of the partnership that Jordan Weathersby be removed from his post as managing partner, effective immediately. Truly, Jordan, I'm sorry.
I'm not. I can live with the partner's decision. I hope they can.
Complete and whole, and the way I justify.
Marcy?
It's my way to
I'd like a revote. Excuse me, Tom.
I told you, 6.8 on the Richter scale.
Maggie.
Oh, Eli.
He came.
Oh, of course, Eli. My fiancé, Scott. I told you I believed you. Oh my God!
I'll always be the one you knew from your love I grew into.
I guess he wasn't so crazy after all. I guess not.
Everlasting.